into Bali, and I didn't know what the prices were of goods here or there, and over the last few years you pick out a few different stories, but unfortunately the smear campaign has done such a good job that you tend to dismiss it thinking, well, the paper said this, the radio said that, so like most other people, they tend to then just follow the consensus belief. But when you start doing a little bit of scratching on the surface and doing a little bit of research yourself, which doesn't take much, but the film, to be quite honest with you, within 5 minutes will hook you in, and by the end of the film, you're left really in very. Look, the way I look at it is to be quite honest, guilty or innocent. What does that have to do with the fact that the baggage handlers are involved, the Australian Federal Police are involved, the government are involved? I mean, does that mean then that they're all now innocent because she's been found guilty? What about the fact, like you just said about the baggage weight? I mean, that's reason for one. They didn't ascertain whether it was actually grown here or grown there. Now, why on earth would you import a drug that costs four times as much here than it does there? That's like you or me going over to Colombia with cocaine or to Afghanistan with opium. Yeah. Who would do that? Do you know anyone?
No.
Well, no, exactly.
But the point is the level. The level of corruption is obviously so consistent. As you say, the police are involved. This is involved. That is involved.
Our media is involved.
And media is involved.
It's frightening when you.
I'm just now hooking that up with the scanners because obviously
not the scanners again.
Because once you've got the scanners, this kind of level of smuggling of drugs can be controlled better.
What, they turn off the scanners?
No. They know who's going what and what's in what bag, and they can let it pass. Do you understand? Like they can actually control them. Well, with the scanners, they can control this process even better.
Well, they've been doing X-ray scanning of bags for a long time. They've been doing that. They were doing that when Schapelle was travelling. So her bag should have been X-ray scanned, but it wasn't. This is actually another.
That's where they missed out. You see, because if they know where it is and when it is, they know when to take it out. They know if it's taken out.
That's exactly what happened.
It's planted in.
That's exactly what happened, Carla. You're making a good point because Schapelle Corby's boogie board was exempted from the X-ray scan, and it's an anomaly that has never been explained. Yeah. Every bag was meant to be scanned going to Indonesia. That was on the government list. Every bag was meant to be scanned. Her boogie board bag did not get scanned, and this was a vital piece of information which would have helped her defence. And Chris Ellison, the Minister for Transport, knew about it and didn't provide her defence team with that information. She probably would have been exonerated just on that single fact alone. Why was her bag exempted from scanning?
John?
Well, that's a very, very good question. And I mean, and most people would say, well, that's a fair question, and why isn't there an answer to that? And that's what happens when you start doing any real investigation of your own into any of these. And there's countless other subjects we could discuss, but not today, and as soon as you start to actually do a little bit of investigation, the cracks appear. And this story, this Expendable, has done a fantastic job. I mean, there's more evidence here than you'd ever need to completely acquit her of the crime. Aren't you meant to be innocent until proven guilty?
Exactly.
Well, it seems to me here, right, she's guilty, you try and prove her innocent. Right, I have this evidence. No, you can't have that. Well, how about this one then? No, you can't have that either. It's like, well, hang on, can we have any evidence? No. That's pretty much what they've done. Yeah,
that's the sort of backwards logic that's used in tyrannical, societies where basically people, where the government just wants to basically target anyone that they don't like, and then you're guilty until proven innocent is the opposite of what a free and democratic society is supposed to be about. But then, of course, people say, well, this happened in Indonesia and we've got to follow their laws. That is true. And I don't actually agree with going on the attack against Indonesia about this. I don't think we even need to do that. The problems were here. The Indonesians would have let her go if the government had owned up. But if the government had owned up about it, the government would have in effect admitted this massive corruption in their airports. And that's why the government did not want to admit it. And that is so pathetic. That is so petty, such a miserable, disgusting level.
So, Herefin and John, do you still hope to be able to get through to have the government admitting any of this? I mean, do you actually hope to if the corruption is so vast and so organised and so intense at all level, do you still hope to be able to get through?
John?
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me personally, the truth will always come out. It always does. It always finds a way.
Let's hope it's not 40 years later. Like other truths come out, disclassify. Oh, sorry, was you know?
Well, this unfortunately is the case. But I mean, I think there's enough. This is why now this campaign has to keep going. We've built a momentum.
Yeah, you do.
And if you look on Facebook, there's a page, people from Schapelle Corby, which I'm sure you're all aware of.
Truth Movement Australia.
My statement to your viewers would be, or to your listeners would be, that please, we've all got our individual minds. Let's look at it for ourselves and make our own informed decision rather than listening to everyone else's opinion. Once you've actually looked at it yourself, you make your mind up. No one else can have your opinion apart from yourself,
Yeah. Too true. I was going to put on the Schapelle Corby song, an artist, but I can't find it. God damn it.
There's so many of them. There's dozens.
For me, though, it begs the bigger question. How do you actually get around corruption? How do you actually, can corruption be corrected by a corrupt government? Or can corruption be corrected by other corrupt? How do you do it?
Well, the media has a big responsibility for this, right? They're supposed to be to keep the bastards honest, right? Our media has been concocted. Unfortunately, but it is spreading the word because we're indoctrinated to only what we see on television. Because in the city,
I understand that. The question's different, Jack. It's I really respect and admire the insistence on truth, both from Hereward and John, and the ability to put such a lot of effort and dedication, and intelligence towards this project. But I'm saying, until we solve the actual question of how one gets through corruption or beyond corruption or around corruption or whatever, that a lot of that effort appears to me
Can I just clarify?
wasted.
Can I actually just clarify what I think the point Jack was making is that the main reason why the corrupt government and power brokers, which are government and corporate, have been able to get away with what they're doing has been largely with the assistance of the media. See, without the media keeping people sort of marinated in the propaganda
and the narrative,
in the narrative, the people wouldn't actually let them get away with it. But it's been quite effective. You see, so you find vast numbers of people are actually saying, she's guilty, let her rot in jail, because they watch TV and they get their information that way. So one strategy is that by having more independent media, like what we're doing today, you actually are counteracting that. And the more independent media you have, this is obviously not nearly enough, but shows like this should inspire people, because anyone can start a podcast, anyone can start a website. That's the beauty of the internet. So the more free media we have, it will start to more and more counteract. I'm not saying this in itself will fix what you're talking about, Carla, but it is one part of the strategy, because the media manipulation of people's minds has been one of the major enabling factors for the propaganda. But of course there's other things that need to be done, but I'm just saying this is actually very effective. It just needs to be more of it.
Well, I don't know, just to be a devil's advocate here, I mean, I'm very, very grateful to the media because it's caused a great awakening for me and all of that. But it seems to me that it isn't going to be effective, because if it does become effective, if it reaches the certain point where it is effective, they will eliminate it.
I don't have such a pessimistic view.
All right. Well, listen, we'll go into we're going to go into song. We're going to get towards democracy. John Waite, thanks for coming on Radio Skid Row all the way from Byron Bay. We're going to keep you on and keep up the what you guys are doing. You can go to Max Egan's Crow House as well to get all the information, and you can go online and get this movie for free, people. It's out there for free. You don't have to pay a ticket to go into a box office or anything like that, or go somewhere else. So get it. It's expendable. You'll hear Hereward's voice. You can turn that down if it's on there. Sorry, I'm just giving shit to Hereward. But John, thanks for coming on. We'll have to have you back on again,
Sorry,
mate.
I don't mean to discourage you, John. Keep going in the...
And thanks, Hereward, for all the work you're doing, and all those the expendable team, and yourselves, Jack and Cara.
Awesome, mate. Good
and
on you.
Thanks for doing it and having that kind of perseverance and effort with it.
We've got to do it, haven't we?
But think about my question, though. Think about the question. Yeah?
I'm sure everyone will. Thanks, Carla. Cheers, John.
Thank you.
Cheers. All right, we're going to put on a song. This one, it's very